morning, everybody. I hope you are well. It's good to have you. It's your girl, Amma, and I want to run through a few quick things. As usual, this page is still not yet known by many people who follow me. So please give me a few minutes. Let me share it with my other platforms. Let me invite a few people I know would appreciate the message, and let's get straight into things. We are still discussing transformation. We are still looking at positive change. We are looking at realistic expectations, especially in the build-up to the new year. Most people will be looking to set new targets on the 1st of January. And I'm just looking to make sure that we all understand what it means to be successful. Good morning, Anna. Good morning, sis. How are you? I hope you are well. Let me get a few people on, and then we will get straight into things. I will not waste your time. Please bear with me. I want to change this to a few groups that I'm in so that people there can also benefit from the message. Once I've made the message, these days it's quite difficult for me to go back and do. I used to have time to do watch party after watch party. That is very difficult right now. I want us to talk about the reality of change, the real truth behind what constitutes change, the work that happens behind the scenes when you start a period of change. I was talking this morning to people on my other group about why many of us get disappointed with our New Year resolutions, and I will keep harping on about that one until everybody understands. I'm looking for a couple of groups to bear with me, please. I want to see which groups I could share it to. Oh, I'm very good, Nana. I'm very good. As you can see, I'm feeling wonderful, wonderful. Let's actually start from that point. I've started getting a lot of inquiries from people who want to know what Amma has done. I finally see results of what Amma looks like. Let me show you what Amma looks like. Amma is at work today, and she is in a skirt. She is in a flowery skirt. Yes, she is changing, and it's actually done all the way to the top. And it's been a long time since Amma was able to do that. Amma allowed herself to go. Amma let herself go. And Amma's had to work really hard to get to this point. It's very nice when people see that and people ask, how can I be like you? And they look for instant change. I'm not even made yet. I'm still working on it. Yeah, my face definitely looks much better than it did 2 months ago. I've just reminded myself how amazing it is to have a chin. How wonderful it is to see a neck. And since I saw a neck, I like to put a necklace around it. How incredibly different it feels when you can see features on your face and not just your cheeks and your lack of a neck. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. But I have to tell you that it takes work, that it takes planning, it takes strategy, it takes persistence, it takes keeping pushing through. Yeah, it takes a lot of skills to get to this point. You will not be able to get to, people will say to me, oh, it's happened really quickly. No, it hasn't happened really quickly. I took about 8 months to 10 months to research products. Yeah. It took me a long time to understand food and nutrition. It took a long time of preparation and strategizing and scaling up before I started the journey itself. So when you saw me in Ghana and I was eating stupidly, I had already made my mind up that in September ending, beginning of October, I was going to start this journey. I was looking at diets and I wanted to understand which foods that I could compensate with. I have discovered things that I can replace and things that I can change, things that I need to take out completely to get to this point. So obviously, having done all those months of prep, when it came to actually delivering, it's happened really quickly because preparation was done. And that's the crux of my message today. You want to transform yourself in 2020, you better start in 2019. You should have started before. If you haven't, I want you to start from this day and start looking at what you want to change. What do you want to start in 2020, and how skilled and competent are you to lead that change successfully? Do you have the expertise to be able to do it? Do you have the resources to be able to do it? And if you don't have the expertise and the resources, what compensations can you make? Sometimes before, you really admire me. Oh, thank you, Fatma. Good morning. Good morning, sis. It's really nice to see you. Before you start anything, if you actually understand the journey you are about to commence on, it is less likely that you will waste time going forwards and backwards because you do know exactly what you're doing. And the people who get to that point, the times when I've managed to get myself to knowing exactly what I'm doing, I don't falter and I get results very quickly. So sometimes you ask yourself, why have I been doing the same thing? This lady was in touch with me yesterday. I've been on this Juice Plus thing, but I've not seen the results you've seen. The reason why you've not seen the results I've seen is because I am actually coming at this not just with Juice Plus and the products. I'm actually coming at this from an understanding of diet and nutrition. I know what I should eat. I know what I shouldn't eat. I understand the psychology of dieting. I know me, and I know that if I do knee-jerk, cut off every food and starve to death and lose weight, I will be back to my old ways really quickly. I am actually looking to make compensations to make this a lifestyle change. And in order to be able to do that successfully, I need knowledge. I do need to learn. I need to look at things that are low in glycemic index. There are certain things that spike your insulin. It takes your body into starvation mode easily. And when it gets you into starvation mode, it is a not thinking mode, unfortunately. In starvation mode, your brain doesn't work. Only your spinal cord goes into survival. And you find yourself doing things instinctively. And when you do things instinctively, they are not calculated. Amit, good morning. Good morning. It's good to have you. I like to do this as practically as possible so that so many of you who watch it would be able to find ways of applying it to your own lives, to yourselves. What can you change? What do you want to change? And I will start with myself. In the year 2020, I wanted the year 2019 to be a year where I went out on outreach and reached a lot of people. But the beginning of 2019, I realized my outreach program was going to need excessive amount of funds. And I was not in a position in my life at that time to commit that amount of funds to outreach. So I did not. I abandoned that project and delayed it for a year. Good morning, Honorable. Good morning. I delayed it for a year because I needed to prepare properly. I needed to look into avenues. I needed to understand revenue creation. I needed to understand ticketing and organization and a lot of things. So I had to abandon that dream and I had to look at other things, more realistic things, preparation for that. And now in December 2019, I can actually start saying to people from about April 2020, I will start doing speaking engagements. I will start looking to go to places, to have seminars, and to prepare. Beforehand, I realized that if I wanted to organize things, I had to rely on other people to be the organizers, other people to fund the event, and that was not going to be the best thing to do. So the smarter thing to do was to delay and prepare and strategize and make sure that I've got things in place to make it possible. So people were asking me, Amma, you said you will go out in 2019. Yes, I did not. I abandoned it because I knew that if I continued with that dream, it was going to be a half-hearted attempt. It was not going to be very successful because the resources, the timing, the expertise I needed was not in place. And it's only taking me 12 extra months. I think it's actually going to be 18 months. I expect that we will start doing that in the spring break, Easter break, more seriously. And I will start my announcements and whatnot starting from January and recruit heavily, seriously, for April. Do you understand what I'm trying to project? I'm trying to project 12 to 18 months of preparation, of skilling, of understanding, just so something can have a chance of being successful when it commences. Pulling a project sometimes, delaying a project sometimes is actually strategic. Pushing things through just for the sake of ticking a box can be a catastrophic move. When you don't ponder, when you don't reflect, when you don't see... Orati, thank you so much. You are welcome. When you don't see the thought process through, when you do things in a knee-jerk, you actually do make silly mistakes that other people don't. And the silly mistakes is the reason why we abandon very, very viable projects and we claim that it's not viable. It's not that they were not viable, it's because we've not seen the thought process through, that we've not prepared adequately for that change. Jabiru Musa, good morning, good morning. I hope you are well. Thank you for joining. The reason why things don't yield the results we expect is because our understanding was not up to what it should have been to achieve what we expect. So I am still inviting people who watch me on all the platforms to start setting targets for 2020. For most of the world, it is Vision 2020. A lot of people are looking to see things materialize. Salut, Valentino. Good morning. I hope you are well. People are looking to see 2020 bringing change, 2020 finalizing plans, 2020 demonstrating things that they've done. So I'm asking you, what are you hoping to show in 2020, which exhibits your transformational journey? What are you hoping to transform in your life in 2020? Is it your finances? And it is the target for most of us. But do you really know how to transform finances? Do you understand that in order for your financing to change, your income needs to change? Do you understand that in order to increase your bank balance, your expenditure will have to reduce in comparison to your income? Do you understand that in the 21st century, one stream of income is inadequate? You have to look at others. Do you understand that inefficiencies in your system will sabotage this dream? It will make it difficult for you to achieve it. We are our own saboteurs. Usually we don't need external forces to sabotage. We do it ourselves. And we do it from ignorance. Rati, advice on relationships. The most important relationship is the one you have with yourself. The most important relationship determines how you interact with everybody else. This morning, as I am sat here with this self and I'm feeling this good, external forces do not impact negatively on me. I am more likely to be able to be sympathetic to people because I am actually happy with the one I live with. I have treated this girl well, and this girl is now capable of paying that goodness forward to the people I am in a relationship with. What most people do is mistakenly think that taking care of a partner should be the priority. It shouldn't be. Taking care of you, taking care of your mental, physical, emotional, and all aspects of your well-being is your first priority. Kenneth, good morning. And when you take care of you, and when you is sorted, and when you are happy, and when you are comfortable, when you are not agitated, when you are not stressed, you are a kinder person to other people. You need to work on you first. You need to know your expectations first. You need to know what works and doesn't work for you first. And you have to own it. You have to own that truth. What I like is different from yours, whether I admit it or not. It is much better for me to admit it and say to somebody, as gorgeous as you are, not for me. Not what I need. Lynn, good morning. Good morning. I was busy in flow. I apologize. I missed your name. I'm glad you actually did say something. Everything begins with you, Fatma. Indeed, everything begins with you. And I am a living testimony to that. Eddie Moses, good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you for joining. So we want to transform, and we want to transform from within and project without. When you transform what is within you, it will be exhibited on the outside. When your knowledge transforms, the way you act will transform. And the way other people respond will also transform. When inefficiencies in your own internal systems is weeded out, when you begin to do things in a more impactful way, your impact is felt and other people respond as a result. And people would say to you, what has changed? Because they can see evidence in everything you do. And usually what has changed, which is the most impactful, should be here. The battle is won and the battle is lost right here. What is going to be able to exhibit in the external would be possible or would not be possible from here. You became your friend when you saw my black and natural beauty, but you've now seen and gained more than beauty, wisdom, and knowledge. Oh, Honorable, you're so kind. You are so kind. God bless you. God bless you. I am so made up for that. Most people say that to me. People would say to me, Amma, why don't you dress up? And one of the reasons why I intentionally don't dress up, and I do it purposefully, I've got to admit, is that I want people to actually listen to what I say. I think my mind holds more value than my face. My face was just a gift. It was the gift given to me from the Lord who made me. And I haven't really contributed anything to this. I hate it when people get distracted and they look at me from the outside and think that's all I present. I've worked so hard on my brain, and I hope and pray that that comes across sometimes. So when people like you say things like that, it really does make my day, because that is very, very important to me. I am hoping that in the ramblings that we do over here, that you pick nuggets that you can apply to life. I want it to be applicable. I want it to be realistic. I want it to be change that we all support each other and cheer each other on to achieve. And that's the reason why target setting is something I'm going to be discussing extensively in the month of December. What are your personal targets? And your target setting needs to be in many different avenues. What are your personal targets? Those are the ones you look at first. How do you become nicer to you? How do you become kinder to you? How do you make you feel better? So for some of you, you don't have my problem. You've not allowed yourself to be fat. You've not allowed your cholesterol levels to rise. It might just be that you do things that allow you to enjoy yourself. Spend time with people you love better. If that's the case, do it. You cannot be nice to other people if you've not learned to be nice to you. Your tongue is harsh because inside there is somebody, there is a personality which is suffering. Inside, your needs have not been met is the reason why you lash out at other people. You are uncomfortable internally is the reason why you make everybody around you uncomfortable. So when you find yourself lashing out and blaming everybody else, take a chill pill, pause about it, reflect, and you will find the problem lies internally. The problem is not external. The external is just a symptom of an internal problem. So I want to start from there. What in your character, what in your personality requires augmentation? What about your attitude to yourself and your attitude to life must change? Do you have the skills, the expertise to change it? Do you have enough knowledge and understanding to lead that change on your own? Do you know the sources of information and people who might be able to support you to do that? If you do, then you are well on your way, possibly towards something that could be achievable. Once you've looked at your personality and your attitudes and your mental fortitudes, you need to start looking around you, and it's usually those who are near and dear you. In your interactions with people, so somebody asked me about relationships, what about your interaction with other people around you could be improved? Could you be kinder in the way you speak to people around you? Could you be more generous with your time and with your resources? Could you be generous to other people without doing it at the expense of yourself and your needs? And that is the critical thing. Amma, you have to be generous is something I hear from people all the time. I'm like, I am actually generous, believe it or not. But no, I am not going to go off and do this particular thing you want me to do because it will not be generous to me. And if I do this particular thing without being generous to me, I know that it will come back to bite. It will come back to bite. I need to be generous to me. After being generous to me, it is my inner circle because you radiate from within there out. I am nice to me. I am nice to the ones who interact with me closely. And in my case, it is my mom because my dad is passed. It's my mom, my siblings. And it's my husband and my kids. Those are the inner. And then it is my nephews, my nieces. And then it is my community, my neighbors, because they interact with me quite closely. Those of you on Facebook I interact with, I will be generous and nice with you. But in each of these cases, I also need to be very careful with the generosity which is applicable. For those of you online, the best thing I can do is share what I know and understand with you freely. No amount of money I could give any of you is going to be worth better than what I give freely, information-wise. Remember that most of the things that I am sharing with you freely is from years of learning that I have paid for. So I am saving you having to pay for that knowledge. That is generosity, which is applicable to your group. I cannot just give my kids that. I will have to give my kids that and some more. I cannot give my husband just that. I will have to give my husband and some more. I have to give my mother something else, because this information to my retired mother is pointless. My mother needs creature comforts, and she needs to hear my voice. I need to be more generous with my mom, with my time, more generous with my patience, more generous with my empathy. And if I can give her a dime or two on top of that, she will be a very, very satisfied woman. Oh, thank you, Honorable. Thank you. I am so glad, so grateful you are here. So this morning, I am reflecting, and I'm reflecting on quite a few things. After the reflection, I am going to have to be brutally honest with myself about certain things that are in place and certain things that are not in place, because some things are still not in place in my life for where I want to be in 2020. The things that are not in place in my life ready for the 1st of January 2020, I will have to start staging a plan. What is Amma going to do about this? What is Amma going to develop about it? Yesterday, I spoke to a brother and I said to my brother, I do need to make a website for something. I do know how to build websites, and I've built many for myself before, but I don't have the time to do it. Can you do it for me? And he says, yes. What will be your charge? And he gives me a very nominal fee. It's chicken change in comparison to what he's going to do for me, but he is so generous in wanting to do it for me. And because this brother has agreed to do this for me, it is possible for Amma to focus on other things. And sometimes in your journey, you need to understand that you will need other people's expertise, other people's knowledge, and other people's resources. But you cannot assume that these will be in place. Even if that person is your husband, you cannot assume. Even if that person is your child, you cannot assume. You have to openly speak to these people who are the gatekeepers of the resources you need. And you have to make sure that the gatekeeper is in place. The gatekeeper understands your vision and is committed to providing what you need. Sometimes your initial gatekeeper might have other plans, and what you've planned and what you thought was a given might not be a given. You don't want to find that out at the last minute. You do not want to find that on the 31st of December, not at all. You want to know that your husband cannot accommodate that extra thing. You want to know that your sister has got something else on. And so even though she's at home and not working, your project is not going to be her focus. You need to get it. But other people also do have to be kind to themselves. Other people also need to prioritize their expectations. Do hold on. Hi, Dora. Of course you can. This after school, I'm going home. Remember, I drive to Arlene, so I've told you, come to me during school time. Lunchtime would be great. Okay? Come lunchtime. Tomorrow morning, I will come in early. And then I can explain anything. Okay? All righty, thank you. Thank you so much. Dorothy, good morning and welcome. I want us to be very realistic, and I want us to understand certain things, because most of us are beginning to become very self-centered. People said that you should love yourself, and that's true. That's good. Love yourself and be true to yourself. Prioritize yourself. That's great. But please understand that as you prioritize yourself, I should also prioritize myself. Just as you can only extend courtesy to me once your bases are covered, please understand that I also have my own courtesies that I need to take care of, bases that I need to cover before I can extend courtesies to you. Please don't assume that Amma is going to deliver a service for you if you've not spoken to Amma. Because when you make that choice, it is appointed unto you to be disappointed. Because your plans might not be in tandem with my plans. And the wiser thing to do is to share your plans with me if it involves me. To make sure I am aware of your expectation if it involves me. To take my feedback once I am aware if it involves me. especially if it involves my generosity of spirit or generosity of resources or donation of my services without adequate remuneration. You've got to consult me. There are many people who want to go and learn this from this person, want to do this from this person, want to take money from this person, but has not spoken to this person. Do you understand that this person might have a certain amount of resources and this person may have already distributed it for projects? That this person, yes, understands that you want to buy X, but they do need a massage. That they want to be nice to themselves first. Understand that the people who might be the gatekeepers of what you need may not necessarily see what you want to do as a priority, and they might not be able to deliver what you want. I need you to understand that declaration in a timely manner is going to be a big difference between those who are not disappointed and the rest of us who are disappointed because we take things for granted. We cannot take things for granted moving forward these days. People are learning. People no longer do knee-jerk because you want, everybody stops whatever and they give you. People are learning that they've got to take care of themselves too and themselves first. And you need to learn and understand that too. Be prepared that some things you want will not come for free. In this day and age, very little comes free. Be prepared that you will pay and dip in your pockets sometimes because that's how things work in the modern world. Understand and appreciate that not everything is going to go. Do bear with me, please, because I have a screen here which is going crazy. So I have absolutely no idea why the screen was flashing, and so I need to check and see why it was. Understand that in this day and age, people know their rights just as you know your own. People understand the differences between responsibilities they've committed to and responsibilities people force down their throats. And in this day and age, it is highly unlikely that people will accept what you force down their throat. So be mindful of that as you set your targets for 2020. Be mindful of that as you invite other people to be part of your plans. Be mindful that there is actually an invitation extended. Good morning, Charles. An invitation to participate. It is not mandatory, even if the person is your twin. It is not mandatory. It is not mandatory, even if the person is your parent. Please understand that. It is not mandatory, even if you've been kind to that person in the past. They do not owe you their lives. And the last thing I want to say is the ability to decipher between what people present and what is the best way to spend your time, energy, resources is going to determine a lot of things in your success in 2020. Invitations will come calling, but some of that will be a waste of your time. People will extend courtesies to you, but it might actually be detrimental to your body. Somebody invited me to come for a cake tasting exercise this weekend, and I sent her a picture of what I look right now, and I said to her, my dear, I have worked way too hard to get to this point. As amazing as cake tasting sounds right now, for me mentally, for me in the middle of my project, for me whilst I'm beginning to see results, cake tasting is not a priority. And if I had the discipline to go with you and not touch the food, I would have come with you. But understand that I do not have that kind of discipline. I will be tempted beyond my abilities. So I am going to have to withdraw. But she says, oh, but I know a friend. I know you do. I understand you do. Your needs are important, but so am I. Come, just a slice of cake. No, my dear, that is rather unhelpful. That is rather unkind to me. It's like offering a bit of alcohol to somebody who is an addict. I am a sugar addict, and I'm trying to stop this relationship with sugar. So coming for your cake tasting is not a good thing for me. And when we finish the conversation, she says, you know what, thank you for breaking it down for me. Thank you for helping me understand where you are. Thank you for not just saying no. Because if you had not explained, I would have been bitter. Sam, good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you, Rati. If you had not taken time to explain to me, I would have been upset. But actually, what I was asking you to do was bang out of order. I was inconsiderate and I apologize. I did not understand and I'm sorry. And it's really nice, really nice that we managed to get people to that point. That's the sort of interaction I commit to going forward. I've been committed to that for a while, and that's definitely going to be a further commitment in 2020. For those of you who are unlucky enough to interact with me, when my answer is no, I will explain to you why it's no. But I will not force myself to make it a yes if it doesn't work for me. And what would be even nicer is if you consider me and my needs before some of those demands and some of those requests. Thank you, Eddie. You are welcome. Thank you. Star Dorothy, good morning. Good morning. It's really nice to see you. Please don't ask me for things without considering me. Please don't demand certain things of me without looking at my interests too. Every woman counts, including Amma, so please remember that. I will try and be generous to you. Can you also be kind and generous to me in return? Can you remember that I am a family woman, that I have responsibilities too? I know I work and I talk on social media, but I might also have time that I need to spend with my kids and my husband, and for that reason, your message might not be answered until tomorrow morning. There is no need to be upset about that one. When I can, I will. But don't send me an angry message because you are looking for me to donate my time to you, because that's all it is, a donation. It's a gift. I think we become really entitled sometimes. We forget ourselves sometimes. I've given you many examples. Sometimes somebody wants to start a business and they want to start a business with the money you have coming in. They know that you will get a windfall in December, so they plan establishing a business in January. No. You cannot make plans with my income. Martha, good morning. Good morning. It's good to see you. You cannot make plans with my income. If you want to make plans with my income, then you should have the courtesy to have that discussion with me. And I will tell you if that income is disposable and whether I can give it to you or not, and on what terms and conditions I can give you the money. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. Be prepared to receive my answer and to respect it, even if you don't like it. Even if you don't like it. That is the difference between maturity and otherwise. In order to transform, you've got to be mature. In order to transform, you've got to be open-minded. In order to transform, you've got to consider all options. And you need to have a plan A, a B, and a C, because life doesn't go according to plan A only. You try and involve other people as little as you can, because it is your journey and it is your change. Don't depend on other people funding your exciting projects, because you are likely to be disappointed. Don't depend on using other people's expertise, because you cannot guarantee its availability. Don't be willing to plan solely on external sources that you do not control. It is much better for you to use resources and to use experiences within your close fence circle. And that's the reason why most of us need to spend December studying. We need to spend December researching. We need to spend December learning. We need to spend December exploring. We need to spend December writing down plans and changing them many times, so that by the 1st of January, the plan we put forward is likely to be an achievable plan. It's likely to be a realistic plan. It's likely to be one that even if we don't achieve 100%, we will make stride towards. Are you ready for 2020? You want to change your finances. Do you really know how to change finances? You want to change the way you look. I'm still doing it. I look significantly different, and it's wonderful what I see. I still don't have earrings, by the way, just so you are clear. I am still exactly who I was. I don't adorn too much. But the fact that I saw a neck made me want to put a necklace around it. This is something I've known for a long, long time. And because I have a neck and I want to put things on, I look less plain and less ordinary. Do you know how to change your body? Are you willing to accept the truth? If you are not, close that door, spend some time with you, come to terms internally before you start asking other people to do more in your project than you. If it is your project of change, then the person who works the hardest should be you. If other people do anything, they are only doing it to support you. You are the chief beneficiary, so you should be the chief worker in the vineyard. That principle is one a lot of us have misunderstood. A lot of us think we are project managers in our own lives, and it doesn't work that way. No. Any other person who does anything to help you is just supporting you. They should never work harder than you do. You work, and the rest of us do a little bit to push you. That is the principle, the main thing which needs to change over here in order for transformation actually to be possible. You are not a project manager in your life. You are the lead activist in your life. You lead by example, and the rest of us have no other alternative than to follow. When you lead by example, we follow, and we support, and we do it sincerely, and we are likely to be able to push you as far as you need to get where you want. I have a lesson in 5 minutes. I have some young ladies to educate. I have outcomes to transform, so I've got to leave you here. Ratty, believe me, when I'm fat, you don't see me. And when I'm fat, I actually don't feel exciting. And because I don't feel exciting, I am not exciting. I'm boring. Once you begin to see changes, when you begin to see direction in what you're doing, when you see results, it's so easy to keep going. The key thing is to get started. And what I'm saying to you today is that getting started starts from here. Spend some time with this bit here and work out what needs to be done. When you finish with this thing here, use this thing here to start working on the strategy you formulated. When this thing is busy and both of your hands are occupied and engaged, invite other hands to help you. And when yours is busy, other people are likely and will be willing to give you the help you need to be able to do it. Your hands cannot be empty whilst you ask me to do things for you. If I say no to you, it's probably one of the reasons, because your own hands are not occupied. You don't need my help. You only need my help when you have no hands spare. Remember that. Let me love you. Let me leave you here. And we will be back in touch with each other discussing this topic and developing it in many different ways. Thank you so much for watching. I am so blessed that you do come and you do share. If you've not shared the video, can you please share for me? Can you invite other people to watch it? I'll be very grateful if you can. Thank you. God bless.